everyone, and welcome to a brand new show here on WNCT 9+. This is Bailey's Best. Now, Bailey's Best is actually like a play of the day we do every day, but we're kind of expanding on it, and we're going to talk sports once a week. Zach Kaplan joins us, and there are lots to talk about with the bowl game coming up, with all kinds of folks leaving, that kind of thing. But welcome to Bailey. It should be Bailey and Zach's Best, maybe.
Yeah, we can, I said off
But
air.
you haven't been here long enough, so it's just Bailey's
No,
Best.
I got to earn it, there's other guys who, if Brian Meador or Todd Gibson were sitting in my seat, maybe it could be Brian and Gibby's best or something, but I haven't gotten to that level yet. It's
you will, though. You will.
Yeah, eventually, right? It's it's a new thing we're doing, work in progress. We'll try to get better as we go, just like the players and coaches we cover.
When you look at what we're going through right now, and it's just that a part of all of college football is going through this, but it hits home when it's our guys, and it hits home when Caton Hauser has such a great season at quarterback, and he opts out of the bowl, which I think is I see why. I know why the kids do it, but it doesn't make it any better. And I hate it for him. I hate it for East Carolina. I hate it for Pirate football. I hate it for the Military Bowl. But it is, as Coach Harrow said, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's fans are allowed to be frustrated by it. They're allowed to be just wondering why the calendar is the way it is, because it doesn't make sense for anybody. It doesn't help coaches. It doesn't help players. Fans obviously don't like it. So, until college football changes the way they set up, we're going to be dealing with this every year.
And what it may do, it may just end all the bowls, because the only bowls that really matter, the only games that really matter now in the postseason is the college football playoff. They're probably going to expand that to 16 teams, and then you're looking at a situation where if you don't make one of those 16 slots, maybe your season's over, which I think is a shame. I hope the bowls can continue, but these bowls don't want to have teams coming in. If I said it the other night, if guys keep leaving, it's going to be a glorified JV scrimmage, because we haven't seen these players play. Now, hopefully, we've gotten through, everybody leaving. Caton Hauser, the Yannick Smith, the Javante Connors for East Carolina. Pitt had a wide receiver, I think, leave. I haven't seen anything more than that. But hopefully we're getting through that. Coach Blake Harrell and I talked about that earlier in the week. Here's part of that interview.
It is what it is. And this is what we talked to our team about. And just we respect his decision. We appreciate everything he's done here. But at the same time, we got to move on. We can't have time to sit around and pout about it or feel certain ways about it. We got to look at the next man up. That's our mentality. Always has been about our football team. And we got to pull together even tighter and lift each other up and keep moving forward in a chance to beat Pitt.
What are the plans now at quarterback?
We're going to rotate some guys around. We're not going to break it all out there, but we got some guys who are taking some snaps up back there. Chasson Ditta, Mike Wright, who both had experience taking snaps this season and done a really good job, and present some different ways to attack defenses as well.
So Blake Harrell obviously, upset, but he knows he's got a job to do to get this team ready to play Pittsburgh in the Military Bowl.
I think he did a nice job. I'm sure you'd agree, kind of being diplomatic, I would say, with his answer, where, if he had like a Key and Peele anger translator, I'm sure they would be saying a lot different, maybe using some words we can't use on this platform to describe just the emotions of that.
And I don't know what the answer is, because if you look on one side, you've got a kid, Caton Hauser, who can make maybe life-changing money in 1 year. None of the rest of us go into our first job with $1 million, $2 million in the bank. So you understand that aspect of it. I know for a fact that East Carolina had collected a little over $1 million, or packaged a little over $1 million, which is pretty good.
It's not chump change.
Exactly. And you're in Greenville, North Carolina, and you don't have to fight for your job because you're the starting quarterback. So I don't know how much more he's going to get, but what he gave up, in my opinion, is the fact that he'll never be looked at as a Holton Ahlers. He'll never be looked at as a Jeff Blake. He'll never be looked at as a Marcus Crandall. He'll never be looked at as a Shane Carden. Those are the great quarterbacks in East Carolina history, and I think Caton would have gotten there. I think if you have another, 9-3 or 8-4, 9-3 season next year, then maybe you're looked like, and if you do well in the bowl game. So I think he gave up all of that. I think Coach Harrell talked to him about that and, said that's, you're looking at all the angles. But I do understand that if you can get life-changing money, you kind of have to go that route.
And the thing with, and Holton Ahlers has talked about it. He's talked about it with, I'm sure you and definitely me, and on his show about if he wasn't a Greenville guy, like it would have been tough to say no to that money.
Oh, yeah.
And that's before it was really 7 figures like it is now. And you think about someone like Hauser, who is a good to great college quarterback, but maybe not having the chance to make that NFL big money in the NFL. You have to kind of strike while the iron's hot. He's got 1 year of eligibility left, so I can understand it for him. I agree in the sense that he won't be looked at the same way in the context of program history with the great quarterbacks they've had, but he has to make a decision too. He's from Anaheim, California, so it's not like he's a North Carolina guy. He's not going to state. He's not going to, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe he will. If he does, then it's a different conversation. But if he goes back to the West Coast where, I would think there'd be some schools that want him, I think, there's that part of it too.
The other seedy side of this is anybody can tell you anything. They can tell you, hey, I think I can get you $3 million. I think I can get you $2.5 million. But until you see it and you sign it, you won't have it. So no. I think he's got to really watch out for, not that agents are seedy, but there are some of them out there that are like that.
They're bad actors for sure.
Yeah. I mean, so you've got a situation like that that you're worrying about. And you just hope he is a good kid. You hope it works out for the best. But the thing that bothered me, and I didn't say it yesterday on the air, but when he said, I'm forever a Pirate. Well, no, you're not.
You can't.
You were a 2-year Pirate, and you gave up on the team before the bowl game, and you left them. So you're not forever a Pirate. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to Caton, but that's how I felt. You're not forever a Pirate.
He'll forever at least be linked to, if this program can sustain the momentum they've had, he'll always get some credit for helping bring them back from the abyss they've been in. But no, it's not on that level. One question I wanted to ask you though was that, like, when Baker left, like when John David Baker left, was it kind of like, I felt like it was inevitable that he would probably leave? I mean, did you kind of feel that way too?
I'd heard through the grapevine that he was going to have some input on the new offensive coordinator. Now, whether or not that was true, I don't know. But I didn't think John David Baker would leave, because I think we all thought, and I think he even thought the same thing, there's a good possibility he's going to leave, especially when the things happen with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and that kind of thing. So I think that was a possibility all along, but I don't think that automatically shifted him to the point where he was going to leave the East Carolina football program. All right, let's take a commercial break. This is Bailey's Best, talking sports. Zach Kaplan, I'm Brian Bailey. Back with more after this. Welcome back to our first show on Bailey's Best. I'm Brian Bailey. This is Zach Kaplan on WNCT 9+, kind of a new platform for us here, not on your side. Kind of a different technology for us.
Yeah, it is. We're getting used to it. We're acclimating. We got our new furniture here, so we're all getting accustomed to it, and it'll be a nice little kind of. We can't really give opinions in sportscasts, at least not usually. So this is a chance for us to do so.
Yeah, and we'll give some, won't we?
You and I, me, you. Yes.
All right, let's talk Pirate basketball. Disappointing start to the season, no question. Mike Schwartz and company, and we joked about it last week. They've got plenty of shooters. They got to find some makers, and that's just the bottom line. They fall behind on Sunday to Buffalo by 21 in that game, and somehow, some way, they came all the way back, the largest comeback in East Carolina basketball history, which says a lot because they've been down in a whole bunch of games. But it'll be interesting to see how they use that momentum going forward.
And they're in a spot now where this roster, through injuries, through ineffectiveness, is not what they've wanted. But now the question, if Mike Schwartz wants to show he's in it, he's going to be here, that going forward. Now it's, how do you pivot? How do you make this roster the best you can under the circumstances? And he said in that, it sounds like in that second half, that was the team he really wanted to see all year. Just hasn't shown itself until the other night.
And Jordan Riley has the talent. He's kind of like an R.J. Felton, who has the talent. If he's into the game. Now, I thought there were some games earlier in the year that maybe he wasn't into it as much as I thought he should be, because I think, and we talk about NIL, I think he got a pretty nice NIL deal. And you need a guy like that who has all that talent, all of that ability to really keep you in games when your other guys are struggling.
And the other thing Mike Schwartz has talked about a lot is his guards, Isaiah Mbang, Tybo Bailey, Corey Calker, way too many turnovers. And that was giving teams free possessions on the other side of things. There's various, they almost lost to Elizabeth City State because they couldn't stop turning the ball over. So they've cut down on that a little bit. The 3-point shooting was awful one of the worst in the country, awful.
At halftime, the Buffalo game, it was 9% at halftime.
I think you and I could probably make one.
They couldn't throw it in the ocean.
It really was that bad. They could have been standing on Pamlico Sound and trying to throw it in there. But it was, they, to their credit, they pulled off a rally like that. Now the question is, can they use it to try and turn things around? Because, right now they have one of the worst records in the American.
And they've got a tough one coming up at North Carolina on Monday night. Ouch.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of folks in Greenville. I don't know what shade. Will they be wearing purple or will they be wearing Carolina blue watching that game?
All right, the Pirates with the largest comeback in program history. Here's head coach Mike Schwartz after that comeback.
Obviously extremely excited that we were able to find a way to dig in the second half and pull that game out. That's a big victory for our team and our program this season. An incredible amount of respect and credit for Coach Helkovich. The Buffalo program, that is a really good team, right up there with as good as any team we've seen all season. Watched them throughout all of their games, obviously, in scouting, and that is just a really good team, and I thought that's a big win for us to be able to pull that one out.
And that was some kind of comeback. And you could tell with Schwartz, you can tell when he loses a game because he can't, hide his feelings at all. And you can tell he was very excited about that comeback. And that was a win the Pirates needed against a really good Buffalo team.
That came in 9-1 and firmly in control of that game. And I, to be honest, started the second half, I was kind of like just starting to edit stuff because Pirates have been down like that big in games all year to never really... maybe one game it kind of came back to make it close.
Well, it looked like their body language, at halftime was really bad. And usually if you have bad body language, you're not going to be able to come back. But they were able to come back, and that was really something. And the one thing about Pirate basketball, it's a tough sell in Greenville.
Yep.
And it's always been that way. And they've got to figure out a way to get more people in the stands, more students in the stands, and for people to care. And I think that what happens now is it's been such a long time coming. Last year, Schwartz and company had a great year, really, and they set records with the American and total wins. But the problem now in college basketball, you don't build off of that. It's always a one year and done. So everything they did last year, and then you lose a part to get an injury here, and then all of a sudden you're trying to start over. Yeah,
and you really just bring Jordan back, and that's the guy. I try to ask between the lines what he said to them at halftime, as it sounds like there were some words we can't say on here. Shall we say that he kind of challenges the team to give a hoot defensively, and they did. So we'll see how they look, and obviously it'll be a tough trip to Chapel Hill. I'm curious to see how they do against Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar. That will be quite the test.
Yeah, that will be quite the matchup for sure. But if this Pirate team is going to win, they're going to have to play much better defensively, and they're going to have to knock some shots down. All right, let's take a commercial break. This is Bailey's Best, our first show of the season of the WNCT 9+ platform. So it's our first one, and we're back with more after this. All right, welcome back to Bailey's Best, our first show. Zach Kaplan, I'm Brian Bailey. Let's talk high school football now. What a great time it was on Saturday with Kinston playing in a state championship, Tarboro playing in a state championship, both teams from the Eastern Plains Conference. And too bad for Kinston because they really, really played well. Especially in the first half. They just couldn't keep up with those Lions of Shelby.
No, they couldn't. And I wanted it for them, especially 10 years since they played that Shelby team. And the last time Ryan Gieselman led them to a state championship game. And it was, Brian, I just laugh at the fact that it was two completely different games as far as one was 84-41.
Yeah.
It set state records for the highest scoring first half, highest scoring single team scoring effort, highest combined score of any football state championship in North Carolina history. And then Tarboro just 22-0 shutout, just put you in a phone booth and stuff you in a locker like old movies.
And the Tarboro game was scoreless at the half, which you rarely see that out of a Tarboro team. But going back to the Kinston game, they throw the ball so well, and Tyreek Copper, what a miss for East Carolina because really with his dad Terrence Copper playing in East Carolina, playing in the NFL, the former Washington Pan Pac star, and you really would think that he would get every benefit of the doubt, but Tyreek's going to be playing for NC State. Now, I will say this, in this day and age of the transfer portal and everything else, there's a chance maybe he comes back because I think he's got some interest. I think his feelings are hurt. I think the whole family's feelings are hurt.
Can you blame him?
I can't blame him at all.
No.
But hopefully that maybe someday something will work out and Tyreek would come back and be a Pirate. But and you got Tyler over there, the great quarterback at Kinston. What he did, I mean, he deserves a shot somewhere. And the word is that he hasn't really gotten recruited much. But hopefully somebody, because obviously he can spin the football.
Yeah, he can. He came over from Conley, and really just watching the last 2 years, like he's really started to, starting to find his own, especially late in that playoff run. With Copper, it's such an interesting thing because with NC State there was talks. And you kind of go through the cycle with Dave Doran where, preseason hype, they lose to someone they shouldn't, everyone gets mad, they want to fire him, and then they beat somebody they shouldn't, then they beat Carolina, and then we're right back to 7-5 and they're in a bowl game, and then they lose that. And then, so, I thought maybe there was a chance if NC State decided to move on from Dave after 13 seasons that, Tyreek would have been back on the market, and maybe a chance for East Carolina to right their wrong on missing a guy like this who, if they had gotten to him first, I mean, you agree, he would have been a Pirate. No question,
so.
right?
I think so.
So that's where it hurts. Brennan Chambers, another great wide receiver, is going to follow in Randy Moss's footsteps, go to Marshall. So that's another local guy that is leaving the state and leaving Eastern North Carolina. So hopefully, I know they're trying to do a better job of that with the 26th class and Jalik Parson at J.H. Rose. I know they want to keep him here, but that's got to be something they prioritize.
Talked with Coach Craddock the other day, and he was very complimentary of our coverage, and we really appreciate that. But what a game, and what a performance in that game. I mean, that's just that second half, they just dominated play offensively and defensively.
I ran out. I don't know if I've told you this yet. I ran out of the media room to start shooting the second half right as Cameron McDowell-Moore took that first touchdown to the house. I mean, I couldn't have timed it much tighter.
Wow.
There's some inside baseball for you at home. So luckily, it came right out. First play I shoot, 70-yard touchdown the other way. Ended up being the game-winning score. And, we always talk about their offense and the T and everything, but it's their defense that shut them out. And it's guys playing two ways. Like in this day and age, with prima donna football players or whatever you want to say, like Tyler Powell, McDowell-Moore made the fumble. He pops it out.
How about he had 15 tackles in the game?
I mean, both sides of the ball.
Talk about an MVP. What do you have? 3 touchdowns, right? Three touchdowns.
Had the hat trick.
15 tackles in the game on defense. So he was your MVP, but what a great performance. And Coach Craddock will go down as, one of the great all-time coaches, a 10th state championship for the Tarboro Vikings. Unbelievable.
And they're in the top, I think, 6 teams now in North Carolina history. Only a few have 10 state titles. Shelby is one of them. Reedsville won another one over the weekend, so they're the leader in the clubhouse. But, I mean, just what a tremendous program. I think it'll be Craddock Field at Viking Stadium will probably be the name someday.
That's exactly right. And I asked Coach Craddock, I joked with him. I said, man, you hang out at the NICU room at the hospital, don't you? Those kids, they're barely alive, and you're teaching them the Tarboro T. But he laughed about that, said he likes to spend a lot of time with the young players. As soon as they get to middle school football, they're running the Tarboro T, and they know exactly what they're doing. So congratulations to Tarboro. Congratulations to Kinston as well on a great, great season, falling just one game short of a state championship. We'll take a final break. Back with more after this. All right, welcome back to Bailey's Best as we wrap things up. Got lots still going on. Of course, we've got the bowl game coming up December the 27th, East Carolina and the Pitt Panthers. We just hope we've got a full squad, what's left of it, to go from East Carolina. You got a busy weekend coming up.
I do. So we'll be all over the place. I figured, Brian, if I can't go home, why not just do a little road tripping? So we got, we talked about Jeff Craddock. He's coaching the North Carolina Shrine Bowl team as they take on South Carolina in Spartanburg, which is basically the dividing line between the two over in the upstate in South Carolina. So he's coaching in that. Cameron McDowell-Moore is playing in that game. DJ Davis from West Craven is playing in that game as well.
A couple of Tarboro kids are playing.
Couple of Tarboro guys. I know Cam and Tyler Powell might be as well.
He's playing defensive end, I think.
Well, we know he can play either side of the ball. And then Panthers with the big one Sunday. They really blew it, that game in New Orleans.
Every time you think the Panthers are going to just take care of business and get into the playoffs because nobody wants to win the NFC South, as bad as my Dallas Cowboys have been all year, they would be right in the hunt if they were in the NFC South.
They'd probably win the thing.
But who do the Panthers have this week?
So they play Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's right. They got the Bucs twice.
So they have the Bucs
in 3 weeks, right?
Yep. And then Seattle in the middle. So that won't be easy either.
It won't be easy.
So this is their second to last home game. They got the Seahawks on the 28th, and we'll see how they do. Really just have to win 2 of these 3 and they're in. And probably doesn't matter if they're both against the Bucs because division tiebreakers go the Panthers' way. And of course, we mentioned ECU and North Carolina on Monday, which will be we'll see how long ECU can hang with them. It'll be a battle. And then
what do you think that point spread will be?
Oof,
32.
20s. I have a theory that Las Vegas does not watch East Carolina basketball because a lot of the lines this year have been pretty bizarre. So I don't think Vegas knows as much about Pirate Hoops as we do, and I don't say that about many things. I don't know a lot about a lot of
Vegas
things.
Builds big buildings
And the shiny and gold and
because of people like us, they don't know anything.
No, maybe they don't have ESPN Plus there yet. I would say about 25
or WNCT 9 Plus. They may not have that yet.
that they don't.
It's a new concept.
I'll go 27.
27. That's probably
go
probably
27.
close. I agree with you. Usually you don't see a spread in the 30s, but every once in a while you see one. I think Duke was favored by 30 the other night against Lipscomb.
Yep, and they were losing at the half.
And they didn't cover either. So
it does seem like the ACC will be better this year. Is that kind of what you've been your read so far watching ACC basketball?
Yeah, I think so.
Virginia looks way better.
I think Duke's going to be really, really good. I think North Carolina's going to be really, really good. I think Virginia's going to be really good. There's a couple other ones that I think they're going to.
State is a work in progress.
Yeah, I think State thought they were going to be better than they are right now, but they may turn out to be pretty good.
They were talking that up for sure before the year, so now they got to back it up. They play Ole Miss Sunday, really their last chance for a signature non-conference win. So otherwise, they're going to have to do all their homework in the ACC and conference play.
And before we go, let's remind everyone that we will have our bowl special, our bowl preview live from Annapolis, and that'll be on December the 26th at 7 p.m. on WNCT Channel 9. We'll be live with coverage, hopefully some live interviews, lots of Pirate fans. Pirate Nation will hit Annapolis, and we'll try to hit it with them because that day, Friday's a big day. They have all kinds of stuff going on. They'll have a parade. They got the Clydesdales. They've got a pub crawl. So we'll be right in the middle of all of that, having a good time. We'll have our sportscast will be live, and then we'll have our live show, our bowl preview for the Military Bowl coming up on December the 27th. Anything you want to say?
I think we're going to try to go to Stan and Joe's Saloon for
where we're going?
I think that's where we're going to try to do our stuff from.
Right.
So we'll make some phone calls and we'll see everyone up in Annapolis.
Sounds good. And that's our first show for Bailey's Best. We'll see you back here next week.